It's Radio Skid Row 88.9 and you're listening to Good Smoke. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Remember that number, 9550-9552. Also, radioskidrow.org and goodsmoke.com.au. Ladies and gentlemen, today is an exciting day for me because we always have serious conversations with all the people. And today will be a serious conversation, like in and out of it. But usually I bring guys to motivate people. This one today it's going to be a funny one because I brought in the man himself. He runs Magic Mike comedy night, stand-up comedy night down at Potts Point, at Potts Point Hotel in the King's Cross, down at the strip there, where there's no strippers no more and there's no pimps anymore. It's all the clean streets out there. And also he runs a podcast as well called Down the Line. He's the producer and the host of the show as well. Today I've got Anthony, aka Chills. What's up, Chills?
What's up, man? Can I clap myself in?
Yeah. Usually I have a clap track, but I've been so like in the elevator.
Don't even worry about that, man. We got this live.
I'll put it on the edit anyway.
Yeah. Awesome. No,
how are you, man?
I'm very good, man. I'm very good. How are you? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad today that I brought you in because this guy's probably the first guy that does a podcast outside this show. So he's going to be talking to me like, we can get it on. We don't have to force the questions out of him.
Oh, yeah. No, I can talk forever. Don't worry. Good. We got this.
All right. So let me see how I got introduced to this guy. So I was just on Instagram checking things out. And on Wednesday last week, I went down to the place and, man, I didn't tell him I was coming.
Yeah, I was about to say unannounced.
Yeah, because I knew what you were going to do, man. I knew you were going to do. You're going to get to the door and you're like, coming for it. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I wanted
to get everything.
Yeah, I wanted to really support, and man, did it turn out to be a great night, man. I brought my friend down with me. Shout out to Anna. She came down as well. And we just enjoyed the night. There was about, what? I think 15 comedians maybe.
Yeah, there was more than usual because it was our 1 year anniversary of being a pro show. So
that's right.
I've been running it for about almost 3 years, like 2.5 years. First 2 years, first 1.5 years was just as like a free show, which is wild, man. Like it was like literally roughly 12 months ago, we were at the front of a Chinese restaurant / nightclub.
Wow.
Yeah, both in the same thing,
really?
Begging people to come see comedy. Wow, like at the front, we had comics at the front begging. Like essentially begging, like free comedy.
Come in,
yeah. And then like you saw, man, like full house. I couldn't even find. You guys were sitting at the bar,
I was sitting at the back.
Yeah,
and someone gave us a seat. I was standing in the beginning. So
yeah, I think I told him to.
Yeah, thanks. Man. But why I brought this guy in so we can start from the beginning. Where he's from, what does he do? Because this guy's running everything himself. He produces the comedy stand-up on the Wednesday, and he also does his podcast as well. And he also got a network thing for his comedians to come through as well. But before we get into all the business he does, I want to see where he's from, what he does, how he got to this stage, what he's been through in his life's ups and downs, and how he keeps going.
The serious part.
That serious part first, yeah.
That's cool, man.
So let's go. Where did you brought up at? Where do you come from?
Man, I grew up in Western Sydney, Seven Hills. Which is like a
shout out to Seven Hills.
Yeah, 2147. It's it's kind of like it's full of just when I was growing up, it was full of older people and young people waiting for them to die so they could get their house.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then you got like Layla Park, Blacktown, like all like housing commission everywhere. So your Seven Hills is sort of surrounded by all these housing commission suburbs. So you grow up with real rough people. Yeah. But they don't see. The thing is, they're not born rough. You know what I mean? They're who their peers are, like their older brothers and stuff like that. And
the low income areas and stuff like that.
We're all poor.
Yeah.
So that sort of helps. That sort of creates the roughness. Yeah. We're all starting at nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a side of it where that creates a sort of friendship because we all know that we've got nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
So like that whole time, like until I was how old? Like maybe 24. My house never got robbed.
Because you knew people?
No, well, there's partly that, but also mainly because I didn't have anything. Like,
okay, that helps. Yeah.
Yeah, the people that could have stole from me had more than me, so there was nothing to really steal. Like had some cool shit like a PlayStation computer and stuff, but nothing like major. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I understand that.
My house was on the same level as their house in a way.
Yeah.
If not, they were better.
Better than you, yeah.
Yeah, because they'd stolen so much.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, like a lot of the artists that are coming in and just a lot of people that come in here are from Western Sydney. I never even planned to do that. But, but it seems like there's something happening in Western Sydney that like a creative buzz is happening there, even not just in comedy, but like with music as well.
Yeah, the 1-4 boys are blowing up, man.
I mean? Like even that too.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, and initiatives happening out there as well in the Parramatta area and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of good things happening as well.
Yeah.
Like even if you think about this 1-4 thing, like I know their tour just got I think they cancelled
Yeah,
Melbourne.
that's right. Yeah, because of some
Police, man.
pressure
Police pressure.
on
Always.
yeah.
They're probably going to shut down Sydney.
Yeah.
And you know what? Knowing that, like growing up there, it's probably a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
On the police side. I get it. Like, even they get it.
Yeah.
But like the police are like, stopping, violence, stop being in the, aggressive in the hood and all this gangster shit. And then it's like, they've made a way to get out of it. And and now they're like,
other people's out of it too.
And now they're stopping it.
Yeah,
they just.
Well, it pays their bills when there's more crime, man, I suppose.
Yeah, very
that's
good
another,
point.
That's another
Whole
hard subject.
thing, yeah.
We might touch it.
We will later on for sure.
But yeah, as I was saying, like in the Greater West, it seems like something's happened where they give people have found a creative outlet, and now they can like there was such a frustration out there because it seemed very boring out there.
Dude, there's nothing to do out there.
Yeah,
nothing.
Exactly. Because I'm brought up in the eastern suburbs, and there's rough areas here too, and I know those guys and all that sort of stuff. But then when we used to go out in the west, like it was, I couldn't imagine what they could do out there because there's no beach.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
There was surfer kids in my school, and the beach is like an hour away.
Yeah, that's
Back
right.
then there was no motorways. It was like an hour and a half to get to the beach. Where are you fucking surfing, dude? Shut up.
Exactly.
Blonde hair, surfboard.
Exactly.
Where are you surfing?
In the
At
middle
the pool? No. Dude, it was wild. So there's nothing to do. Everything's so spread out, and it causes kids to just like come up with. It creates creativity.
Yeah.
Sometimes that creativity gets used negatively. Like,
That's
and
right,
even
man.
I went out like tagging and throwing up and shit when I was a kid.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Look at me. I mean, short little. Back then, I was big. I was like the fat kid, and I'm throwing up tags. What am I doing?
Yeah.
But it was just I had nothing else to do.
Right,
man.
and because the human spirit has that, like you have to create. Like when you feel like just a sheep. Like as we were saying, just outside the show, we had a good conversation outside the show. But just walking in the city and stuff like that, and how you just see the crowd just going one way, and everyone's just doing the same thing, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But an interesting point you brought up was that no one wears the same shirt. Like everyone's wearing a different shirt.
Wild, man.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like how
Every
many
office.
different shirts, shirt shops there are there?
Yeah. How many people are working in offices, and how many different shirts are there? Because if you're listening, look at your office.
Exactly.
Everyone's got a different button-up shirt on.
Like no one is even similar. Like it's just all different types. Yeah, you're right, and I didn't notice that.
And even if you think back, like everyone in an office, like we've worked offices before, man. Like it's almost like everyone has a different color shirt as well. Like, but they didn't organize it beforehand. Like I'm sure there's a lot of blues and whites.
Yeah.
But like the vast colors are all different. It's like,
and especially like I understand if you didn't get copied in the same level, like where you work, the same building level, but it's different from
the whole street.
Yeah, the whole street.
The whole street.
The whole
next
city.
Time,
like you don't see.
It fires me up, man. Next time you're in the CBD, just watch everyone come past in a blazer and check the shirt they're wearing. It's all different. Everyone's got a different shirt.
I swear.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that till you told me, man.
Yeah, man, it's wild.
Yeah, it's wild.
This is the things that keep me up at night.
Yeah. People watching it. Yeah.
It's the shirts. Where are they all made? Like,
well, that's our entertainment in the eastern suburbs, man. They're just watching people. But yeah, so not having that creative. You know what? Let's go back. School. How were you like at school? What school do you go to? And what
I went to Seven Hills High. It was all right, man. My parents got divorced pretty young, like when I was 12. So then I was like going into high school, I guess. Yeah, just when I started high school. But I don't know, man. Seven Hills is like, it was the main school in a big area. So like everyone went there, and then I only went to year 10. So like, there was like rival schools like coming in and like tagging up on the weekends and fight after school. Yeah. So other schools crews would come down. It's like full like
gangs, eh?
Yeah, gangs.
Yeah, no.
And like what's it called? Grand Theft Auto style stuff.
Okay,
it's like you own this street and all that stuff. Like the lamest stuff looking back, I guess, to a degree. I can understand it, to be honest, but we just had nothing to do. And there was a park across the road from school where everyone used to fight.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
We had the same similar stuff.
Yeah?
I'm telling you now.
Always, straight up to school.
I guess like 3 weeks ago I said the same thing. We had a park next to school, and everyone just organised. And there was no phones back then.
Yeah, like, dude. No one filmed it. How good would that be to see now?
Man, for sure. I would love to see that. Dude. Especially all the fights that I was in. I wish they got taped as well.
Yeah, dude. There was this one guy said this older brother was in year 10 and his younger brother was in year 7. So I went from 7 to 10, and the younger brother got in this fight one-on-one. It's always one-on-one. And then he starts beating this other kid, and then the other kid's friend dog shots him.
Oh.
And then the older brother comes running. So he lived on the back of the park. So he comes out of nowhere with this shovel and just starts swinging it.
No way.
Yeah, dude. hits this kid like in the back. He collapses like full force, and like obviously, you know, the 50 to 100 kids that were standing around in a circle holding it, legged it as soon as he come running with a shovel. Like everyone's shitting.
Police for sure. Yeah.
Police didn't even come.
Wow.
Yeah, it took. Man, back then, like when we were growing up, it took like 2 hours for the cops to respond to anything, like violence-wise. Like now they're straight on it. Now they're probably 2 on it. Like they're busting people for just walking down the street, crossing the road.
That's right.
Back then, there was domestic violence in my area. Didn't even get, like, you'd call the cops 2 hours later, they might show up. Yeah,
that's fine. Man.
Yeah,
they're
like,
and now it's just like they're covered everywhere. But yeah, as you're going through school, what were you like? Were you troublemaker at school?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah,
man. I hated school. I still hate school, man. I get the concept of it, but
it's not your type of learning.
Nah, man. Especially how strict it is on like how things have to be. Like there are, you know, I'm quite intelligent to a degree, and like I can understand a lot of stuff, and I understand that how it works, but I don't understand where it's needed. Have you ever used Pythagoras theorem?
I was talking this today with my brothers.
Never.
No, not the everyday layman. No.
Engineers. Yeah.
I can see that. Plumbers and
yeah, but man, I was an absolute rebel. I used to like egg cars on the way to school and on the way. Yeah,
what the hell?
On the way, and I'm talking baller stuff. Like I'm walking down the main road. They facing the cars and just egg them.
Far out,
and just
man.
be like,
no accidents.
What are you gonna do?
That's dangerous.
Yeah, well, it's a main road, man. Like,
exactly.
It was going on to the M4, like the start of the M4. So like, they're like on their way to work. So they're like not gonna pull over.
Bro, we did some stupid stuff.
Oh yeah,
I've done some stupid stuff in my life too, man. It was like, what was I thinking back then? You know?
Yeah.
But all right. So you went through school. Did you have brothers and sisters through school?
Yeah, I've got a younger sister, younger brother.
Oh, so you were the older protective guy, trying to be?
Not really, man. I'm not real tight with them to a degree.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If anyone ever messed with them, I'd be straight on it. But like they can usually handle themselves pretty much. They're sweet. Like my younger brother went to a different school. I think my sister went to mine, but it's kind of like if you can't handle yourself, like I get teamwork and stuff like that. But if anyone really messed with her, I'd be involved.
Yeah.
But how was I say?
Just normal brother stuff.
Yeah, I was wild, so people were like kind of left her alone. You know what I mean? Like I was breaking every single rule. I was the one in the most trouble, non-violent trouble. Like I was doing things like throwing things through windows, like apple cores and stuff, and throwing like condom water bottle bombs over the quad into the thing, and not a care in the world. I'm like, just the fact that I won't even see where it lands. But I know it's landed. I love that, man.
It just made you.
I love that.
Crazy.
Yeah, you put thumbtacks like down on a toilet seat and just leave it. You're not even there to see it,
but just knowing
that it could have happened. That's all I care about.
So looking back now, you're seeing yourself as a little kid. You know, would you do any of that stuff?
Would I do it again?
Yeah.
I think I would. And because there's a few things I'd like to change though. There is. I see what you're getting at. Like. Man, like to be honest, a lot of it was just like the anger of like all that whole divorce and like missing my dad and all that stuff, losing all that sort of power and
having a father figure and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I only saw him every second week and all this stuff, and like, you know, my mum's like a alcoholic, drug addict, all that stuff. Like, basically non-existent, violent and stuff like that. So like, I was just taking that out on. Whatever I could, I guess. Like it was hurting me, so then I was hurting other
people. Yeah.
Man.
Well, I could imagine that. Like I have my parents, but I have my difficulties with my parents too. You know, and I probably did the same thing, like to unleash that anger and that frustration, take it out with your mates. You know, and you're the coolest kid. You know, because you're doing the most ruthless stuff.
Yeah, dude.
But man, I used to. Man, you don't understand. I used to. I don't want to incriminate myself. Like,
it's too late now. Statute of limitations.
When I was young, I used to like go to the golf course and smash them over like the shopping center, going onto a main road. Oh. And that's that feeling of not knowing, not seeing it being hit, but knowing that it's
someone's hit.
But I was a kid and I'm an idiot. I'm like, what the hell, bro? If that hit my mum's car, I was like, I would smash the guy who ever did it.
What's interesting how they were given that much freedom.
Yeah.
See, we're given the freedom to fuck up, but then if I wasn't given that much freedom.
Would you be who you are now?
Exactly. So I was given it, and then I crafted I honed myself in. Yeah. So then it's kind of like
it comes all together.
Yeah, because then you see like these we were talking about earlier. Those nice guys, like they're monsters. Like usually, like Bill Cosby, all that sort of
they're
stuff.
hiding inside.
Oh yeah.
With a smile on their face.
Yeah. Who do you like? I never would trust someone that's all nice. Like,
too nice. Yeah,
yeah.
It's just
I even said
suspiciously
I don't
nice.
even remember what it's like to be innocent.
Yeah, innocent.
Like,
Yeah, that's what we're
ever.
saying off. Yeah. No, but that thing is like with like having comedy in your life, you can look back to all that and just laugh at it, and actually you can use it now for fuel to make it people laugh and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's the awesome thing. Even when I try to write stuff down and stuff, and it remembers me, it actually sparks like a passion to me to keep going to create.
Yeah, man.
Because it feels it, man.
It's I wonder what that is. It's like I feel like it's a mixture of inspiration and
passion.
I think the word's remembrance. But no, that's not it. I'm thinking of something. Nostalgia.
Nostalgia
and inspiration together. Craft.
Yeah, that's right. Nostalgia's a big thing, man.
Yeah, craft's a beautiful sort of feeling. That's when those two are together. You sort of it brings joy, man.
No, for sure, because a lot of memories come from smell and feeling and taste, and you're remembering all those good foods and the good people you used to meet when you were kids and stuff like that, and the stupid stuff you used to make and all that. But with going to school and being a little menace, getting out of year 10, that's like pretty much when you've got to become a man.
Yeah.
But you never had a father figure. Your mother was doing her thing, stuff like that. Did any of your mother or father rub off on you, and you caught on to that sort of lifestyle?
Yeah, man. So when you leave year 10, you go to there's a college that you can go to. It's optional. So I never even got my school certificate. They told me I wasn't allowed to come to the presentation because I was such a
menace
idiot. Yeah,
but you got the certificate.
Menace is a good word. Nah, I never got it.
Oh, I never got it.
They told us to come pick it up. Told me to, or my mum to, and she was like, "No, I'm not going down to school." And it's just a piece of paper. I
so
guess,
it might be there now still. You can still imagine you get collected.
Yeah, I'm sure they all burnt it and laughed.
I hate this guy.
Yeah. So then you go to year 11 and 12, and we did that at Wyndham, man, and that's a crazy thing because that's like people that want to properly finish school, and you choose all your classes, so it's kind of a lot more free. I enjoyed it a lot more. But it was ingrained in me that school sucked from all those 4 years of terrible sort of education. Some of it was all right. And then the first 2 weeks of that school was honestly, it was 4 different schools. Finish year 10 and go there for year 11 and 12. Dude, it was
all the roughnecks from
dude, it was like a Fight Club tribute school. It was mental, dude. Everyone was punching on the first few weeks because it was school versus school. The toughest kids from the 4 different schools were all punching on, and then I think it was about 2.5 weeks in, everyone became friends.
That's cool, man.
Instead of being school, everyone sort of intertwined.
They worked it out. They knew that they were the roughnecks.
And you all sort of became the tough kid became, because you're doing classes with people, you become friends with kids from different schools. So then it went from 4 different schools to the one school. And that first 2 weeks was wild. Rough, man. There was 4 fights everywhere, different areas.
Man, the way you're brought up in school is the same as me, man. Because I was in the special needs classes to say. You know what I mean? They used to actually say that special needs on the thing, but I just never concentrated, to be honest. The thing is, what I learned when I grew older, if I put my head down and actually like something, I actually excel at it. But I just never captured it at school.
What a crazy thought.
Yeah, exactly.
If I like something,
I
enjoy doing it.
Yeah, exactly. But at school, man, in the classes, I was like you, man. Did everything and anything just to not be as into the class,
Yeah.
But I was seen as not the annoying idiot guy, the more the principal would laugh to see half the stuff that I used to do.
Yeah.
So it'll be like a friend to me and try to say, come on, get back on track sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't malicious.
You saw your potential.
Yeah. But I wasn't malicious with my ministry, but I was menace. I was a menace at school. But not having a father figure, man, that's the main thing for me because I can understand that because I've seen either people go the real good way with that sort of situation or just off the rails, man.
Yeah.
What was that like out of year 10? You had to be your own job and
what time did I? Yeah, so there was a moment where I fought back with my mum and then I ended up moving in with my dad. And then I erased her from my life for 2 years. So, my brother and sister would come around and they wouldn't even mention her name and stuff for 2 years. So, she didn't even exist.
Wow.
Completely erased from my existence.
Wow.
And then I started smoking, doing drugs and
doing whatever.
I smoked weed and all this, and then eventually I went and saw her. Which was wild. After 2 years of her not existing, I seen this girl, and then she was like, "Let's go meet your mum." And this whole story happened. Yeah, it was wild. And I had a father figure, but it was just not constant.
Oh, okay.
Like he was very good when he was there.
Oh, okay. Good,
For the every second fortnight, then every week, and then when I moved in with him, he was very good. But it was obviously an adjustment for him and stuff. And he worked because when you've got like 3 kids, 50% of every 50 cents of every dollar you make goes to child support.
Wow, far out.
So yeah, he's making good money, but half of it's gone. Then he's got to pay rent for his own place, and
then take care of you. Yeah, okay.
Wild, man, wild.
Did
and
he
then
take all of yous in, like you and your brother?
No, he took me in first, and then slowly the other two built up confidence to come over. Yeah, it was scary stuff, man. And
it would be at that. What are you, like 13, 14, maybe?
15, I think I was when I went over there.
Yeah, so
maybe less. Yeah, 14.
That's it, and that's like hard.
Yeah, you grow up real quick.
Yeah, you would have to. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So what was it like going to see your mum? How did she convince you to go see
her
mum?
afterwards?
Yeah, or to go see your mum and that?
Yeah, dude. So I think we were just high, and then she was like, my dad only lived one suburb over, like Seven Hills, Layla Park. So I was kind of like, let's cruise over. She was like, let's go. And I was like, yeah, all right. Because she knew the story. So then she was
okay.
She was cool with like, and I'd known her for a very long time as well. And then she was like a family friend almost. So then we went over, we walked middle of the night, like high as shit, just through this, like through the streets, then through the park.
Yeah.
Looked at my mum's door and she was like, what the fuck? Come on, get in you get. And I was like, sweet. And then she's talking to my mum and I'm just...
Were you heart beating? Was your heart
I was almost blacking out, man. I was like, this is too wild.
Much, yeah.
Too wild. I was like...
Too many things happening.
I let her talk and I just ignored it. So, I kind of just slowly eased my way back in.
Nice, man. Let's go to a break, man. Let's get readjusted. This is Radio Skid Row 88.9. Remember that number, 95509552. Also radioskidrow.org and goodsmoke.com.au. Where can we check out Magic Mike? Let's go. We can check it out on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, Magic Mike Comedy, idcomedy.com. That's where most stuff's going up now. Just rebuilding the website, but there's one up now. Yeah. Everything will be there, man. ID Comedy is probably best.
We'll keep screaming it out during the interview anyway.
Yeah, sick.
This is Radio Skid Row. You're listening to Good Smoke. It's Radio Skid Row 88.9. You're listening to Good Smoke. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Remember that number, 95509552. Also, radioskidrow.org and goodsmoke.com.au. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and also check out Magic Mike Comedy on Facebook and Instagram as well. And you can also check up at Chills as well. That's CHILLZ.
That's the voice of a pro you're listening to right there.
Thanks, man.
Very well.
That was smooth, eh? I felt that as well, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm not pro yet. I'm getting there. I think it's because of the company that I'm sharing, man. I feel comfortable. So
man. Me too.
Yeah. So, like, we're talking about comedy. Oh, no, we're talking about how, like, school life and that. But I'm just off the break, we're talking about comedy. And the reason I bring it, like, trying to question on these things about life, about family, about friends, mums, dads, how they affected you, because in comedy themselves, it's like there's a false perception of like, hold on a second, let me just turn this on. At least I got that right. And there's a false perception that comedians are always happy. Their life is always on this 100.
So funny.
Yeah, and they always have a good family life and they tell jokes every day. And
it must be a dream.
Nothing goes wrong with them, sort of thing.
Yeah, no, it's not. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Like most comedians are damaged. We're all broken toys. So like, that upbringing led to me being a drug addict for over a decade, and like having the best time though. To be honest, there was a lot of good times. Still a lot of bad. A lot of bad, and all the good I can't remember. But it did help forge me to this point. So it's kind of hard to hate it. You know what I mean? That most like I speak to comics every day, all day.
Yeah.
And you see like all these acts, like they've been through so much, like just trauma, bad stuff.
Yeah.
And this is their last. The scary part is that could be their last resort. Like they somehow find comedy because they need a laugh and they enjoy the laugh, and then they try comedy, they get the laugh. And then that is now the only thing keeping them here.
Like a therapy.
Chasing that laugh.
Yeah.
It's like instead of chasing dragons, you're chasing laugh dragons.
That's interesting, yeah. So it could become another addiction sort of thing.
It does. And it has to if you want to succeed. Like
and excel to that next
level. Yeah,
level.
man. Like, just like with this, you can't practice this at home, really. Because
Until I'm here,
Yeah,
you're right,
you can only practice it here, you know what I mean? You can only get better by doing it. Same with comedy. And you can only practice comedy in front of a crowd. Yeah. And you can only get a crowd when you're out at night. So then you're out at night. That's another thing. We all become alcoholics or keep alcoholics. And yeah, man, because like, for instance, there's 3 shows on a night, right? Roughly, pro or open mic, every single day of the week except Sunday, which I'm looking to fill that soon. And then
same place at Pottsmore?
No, somewhere else.
Okay.
Just because I've got people chasing me down for shows, obviously, because it's going so well.
Yeah.
But it'll be like a full live podcasting, 4 comics. It'll be a big thing, but hopefully this idea comes together, and I think it'll be Sunday. But we're all doing some of the acts, like my regulars that you would have seen on Wednesday, like Elliot Rivetti, Anthony Locaccio, like Sam Menzies, like my crew. They do like 4 spots a night when they can.
Wow.
They do every spot they can. So I'm
all around Sydney, like
yeah,
the
man.
area.
Some of them are going out to Cronulla, coming back in, like crazy
so
travel.
You have to love that to do that, man.
Yeah, man. And like Elliot's got a girlfriend. She was there. That's my doorbell.
Is that the beat guy?
No, that's Duggan. He's got a girlfriend as well. So Elliot's the one who real dark jokes. I don't know if you would have seen him because you came him just after. He's like, he's got a joke. Schoolgirl writing in her diary. He was sitting with me, but he
curly hair,
long, yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember
a little bit, yeah.
And the other guy that was going for a divorce.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, he was my favorite by far.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Bro, that guy
I'm trying to remember because I may have celebrated too hard.
We had a fun time, man.
By the time I saw you, I was already not seeing you.
No. It was the time to celebrate, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I understand now, like what it was, being a year celebration.
Yeah, year of a business instead of just a year of a passion. So it was combining the two, man. It was
making money out of the craft as well and stuff like that.
Wild.
See, and to even envision that, like. That's why I'm trying to put all the pieces together and what I'm imagining, like your life, how it could be, where you grew up.
Yeah.
Because Greater West Sydney, not many opportunities probably growing up when you were young.
Yeah, I tried to get out of there as quickly as I could.
School wasn't the best for you. You left early.
Even after school wasn't the best for me. I became a raver at 16 and was doing that every single night. Like every weekend, underground raves, like Rebels Clubhouse and stuff, smashing pills and all this stuff. And like at the time, it felt awesome. Yeah. I made some good friends from it. Yeah. Like the closest friends I've got. But then and then it led me into the clubbing industry when I turned 18. Then that led me, then with the lockouts that dropped, like the industry dropped, I also knew that everyone was excelling in that industry. All my friends were excelling in that industry and I wasn't. I was kind of like on the back burner. I was kind of like an associate instead of like the
main guy.
Yeah. I wasn't throwing the party. I was just invited. Yeah. And then I started running this and my first show had 6 people sign up. 5 of them actually turned up and 1 audience member who was my bartender's friend who just happened to be there. Okay. Yeah. And then now I'm looking at like on my open mic showcases, I'm getting like 80 people signing up, 80 plus to perform. I shred that down to 30. 7 of them get through to like be on the pro show. Yeah, dude. So
that's hard on you, who to choose and stuff like that.
A little bit. It's not too hard to. It's not too hard to choose because like there's a level that you got to reach, but there's a standard that has to be met. But you can sort of see potential in people that are trying out wild things, and it's kind of like, and people that have had wild lives. When you've had one, you can see that in someone else instantly, and you can see that they've found comedy and they're crafting themselves a better life. So it's kind of like something positive for them. So I would never stifle that from someone at all.
You want to give a do you feel bad like chopping off the list like that?
Yeah, not really, because it's not chopped off forever. Oh, okay. It's only chopped off for that one time. Yeah. So unfortunately, it takes time. Like all these people are. Some like US comics say it takes 10 years to get good, like to become a professional, to find your voice, and then it takes another 3 to actually become great.
To make a platform. And
yeah.
Stuff
So
like
then
that,
it's kind of like all these people are like 2 years in, and they're like, I deserve this. No, you don't. No one does.
Oh yeah.
You got to earn it. You got to prove it.
Like that Chris, is it Chris D'Elia?
Chris D'Elia, yeah.
Man, he's been around a long time.
Yeah, he's like 15.
Yeah,
15 years
and he's like only like...
He's popping now. He's
popping now. He's popping real big. He has been popping, but I mean like now he's really on the Instagram.
He's on God mode. And that Eminem track, did you see that?
I've seen it. And he just did a thing on the Instagram where...
With the tattoo? Yeah,
dude. Bro, this is exactly what I was thinking. And I bet he was thinking that I was thinking this. He was like... he was wiping. I go, you asshole! Like, you hated this guy, and you made fun of him on that. Not hated him, but he was making fun of him on that rap. Yeah, and then he wiped it off, and it was him. I was like, oh, I'm so glad he didn't get it.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It was funny, but I like it. I like that about him, and he has a family side to him as well. Like I see through his socials and stuff like that, which I feel like comedians need to have that release.
Yeah.
because you can't just keep your
Just stay comedy, man. Like that's another thing the comics do a lot of is they stay. If you just only have comedy, you've got nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? You sort of get one track mind. You have to have a life and comedy, so you almost have to have two separate lives, live two separate lives. So,
I understand that 100%. It's like a politician. I feel like politicians should be living with the people.
How do they get home and just sleep at night? First of all, on a bed of money.
Are we going to start on this? Let's go. We'll start on politicians. We'll talk about the addiction crisis and stuff like that, and pill testing and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, perfect, man.
But yeah, you're right, man. Like, just with my experience with writing lyrics down and stuff like that, I find like I lose content when I'm not living. Like if I'm not out there.
You got nothing to write about.
Yeah, you got nothing to write about. And then it's like you got to refill again and come back, again and come back.
So that's how you do it, do you?
Or like that's how it came naturally to me. And realizing that now, I was like, no, you got to do the things at both the same time.
Well, yeah, it can work. It can work both. Either way, though, I think, because there's a good. There's plenty of people that. Yeah, it's hard to maintain a life.
Yeah.
If you're only doing it in like segments, like seasons.
That's right.
Yeah, I can see like you're gonna lose friends. You're gonna lose.
Yeah, that's right.
In that break period while you're writing, it's hard to you've got to instead of separate the two, you've got to squeeze them in on each other.
Yeah, and the thing is, I love my isolation. I love being in my own thoughts. Because I feel like, and I love working at night as well, stuff like that. It's like there's more room to think, sort of thing, in the nighttime. So stuff like that is where I excel, and I'm trying to learn my path, my avenue where I work best.
Yeah, how you work best.
You know what I mean?
Your process.
Yeah. So when you're writing, let's go through that. Like, I
haven't written in a while, man.
Yeah, when you're writing, like. How do you?
How I write is,
or even just organizing and producing.
Yeah, how I do everything. Yeah. So basically, because I do a lot of self-reflection, so I understand what you're saying. What you're sort of after there. So what I do is I see I go from the end goal. I go where do I want this to go? So I'm already thinking 5-10 years down the track.
Nice.
Like the potential of it, what I know will happen, and how I don't know how it'll happen. I know how to get to. Like what will help me get there. So running this show as a free show for a year and a half, then the transition to a pro show and paid show made me, like, I was nervous at first. I spoke to the crew. They're like, "Did you put in all this work for a free show? Just, you could be putting it into a paid show, making money." I was like, very true. And now it is working out. So then I usually, it takes a lot for me to throw it out to the crowds, to my group, you know what I mean? But like, for instance,
is that a vulnerability thing? Is that something you're not self-conscious about?
Well, then it's also, I don't want to put the burden on them, but I said they don't have the understanding that I have of running it. So it's kind of like I'm all in all day, every day. Yeah. They visit it, sort of thing. They are a part of it, but they're not like the
background of it all.
Yeah, the people on the train, on a plane, don't tell the pilot how to fucking fly. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. But I also do need to know if there's anything going on back there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, if there's snakes on this motherfucking plane, I need to know.
Jump on.
Yeah, and I throw it out to the crew, and we get all their opinions and their views, and then I sort of make a judgment call on that. I take in their advice and I decipher it to align it with how I can make it work. So running the show, I do things like, man, the hustle I put in there is all day, every day. I'm doing things like, messaging uni societies, emailing uni societies, and doing things like brand deals. I did an exclusive deal recently with ticketing, things like that. All these different things that are just now popping up, but there's all these other things like booking in tables and doing things like this that are, because I know the talent's there. I understand the talent and the booking side of it. I've got a system where it sort of flows, where it starts strong, ends strong, and it goes like a wave. Yeah. Where someone's energy might be low. The talent's all 100.
It also depends on the night, man. Like, you don't know.
Yeah, well, that's what I love about it, all the variables.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I've got this idea, right, with my show. You saw it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Everyone lives their entire life, no matter where they've come from or what they've lived up until this moment that they're at my show. Someone has dragged them there, or I've convinced them to come somehow. They're there. And it goes from them living their whole life to sitting there. Then there's usually there is a table, and then they laugh as an individual, and then they laugh as a table.
Yeah.
And then they laugh and that happens to each table, and then each table's laughing as their table. But when they do that all together, that's when it becomes an audience.
Like a group,
Then the whole room is laughing at the same time, and that energy there's a little flicker of like when that flicks in, like my whole
It
soul
just rolls on. Yeah,
my whole
from it.
soul explodes. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, God, that's what
Oh,
I'm
I
doing
saw you,
for.
bro. I saw you explode
Yeah.
because that night really popped off, man.
Yeah,
like,
man.
One after another, blah, blah, you know.
Yeah.
And and like the beauty of it, like when I was laughing, I could see on my side, the side of my eye, sorry, the guy was like almost trying to talk to me indirectly by laughing together at the same joke, kind
Yeah.
of thing. And I feel that's the comedy. That's what it does to.
Yeah.
But
You're instantly friends.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you got to understand yourself, bro. Like you may not know it, and maybe you do, and maybe don't understand the gravity of it, but you're letting people go out now and being just that relief off their shoulder about life.
Yeah.
They're happy. They can talk to their missus and they can talk about the show about, you know, and you bring
It
laughter.
sometimes ruins relationships.
Yeah.
Because someone's
like the two
laughing.
on the week.
Yeah.
Like on two on
People
Wednesday.
are laughing at things they shouldn't be.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But
But that doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
Hardly,
I'm joking.
no,
Yeah. It's happened once.
Yeah. I know it happened on Wednesday because the guy said something that he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And then the girl slapped him. But yeah.
But that's all fun. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
The connectivity that you're talking about,
Yeah.
where someone you don't even know is they looked over, but you could feel their energy is with your energy, like it joins forces.
Yeah, man,
And
it
you,
does.
You don't know this guy's name, but you're laughing at the same,
Same thing, exactly.
Boom. You
'Cause
just
it-
made
and-
friends.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
you're relating to something together
Yeah.
without even talking to each other.
yeah.
That guy's bringing us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you got to understand, like, Australia needs that. Sydney needs that because I feel Sydney's got commercial. It has a commercial side, which is all good. And I'm not dissing that side. It's just hard to reach, you know. It seems like there's a blockage.
Oh, like the mainstream level?
The mainstream level. But the street level, the everyday people.
That's where I live.
Yeah, and that's the best. That's the place that I always want to live in because if I get away from that, you lose connection from human beings and just the
you start flying
society.
off into space.
Exactly.
Like you can't see here's a good example, like Guy Sebastian. Have you ever seen him in person?
No.
I
Actually,
don't even.
one time in Bunnings when I was working there, but it was indirectly. Like I don't see him every day.
Yeah, but you've you see him, but he must be in a different universe. You know, his brain's in a different world.
That's right. He's in this industry standard there, that's his lane. That's fine with me. Like, it's not my thing. But what I'm trying to say is that you're creating stuff that you could have a tradesman there that night.
Yeah.
Goes to the work site, shares that joke with another 10, 15 people.
Yeah.
And then he's made them laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're
You better not be stealing jokes. If I find out, I'll be down there. What job site? Tell me.
but you know, people take it to their jobs. People say you got to check this out. You go down. It's affordable.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't breaking pocket, and
not at all.
and you can eat there, have a drink there.
I should raise the price.
But stuff like that, man, you're really making a difference to the society. Why I'm saying that is because I went and studied a little bit about comedy and the history of it. And they say it goes all the way back to Greece.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And there was a play called The Babylonians.
Yeah.
And it was in 426 BC, right?
Coming at me with some knowledge I don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But just
history.
to understand, just to understand the foundations of what you do.
Yeah.
Because he went against making fun of the government.
Yep.
And back in the day when you're in the auditorium, the important people would sit at the front of the auditorium.
Yeah.
And so he had access to make fun of him while the crowd was laughing at him, to the point where the politician himself that got made fun of, he had to do something to him to stop him from doing that play. Yeah. So that affects the society and the community, how they think.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's a bigger thing than.
It's interesting to see that. Yeah, like I can see how they would kill him because they're making fun of him and the crowd's on his side.
Exactly, yeah. And then you're supposed to be the leader of the country and leader of your little sect, whatever you're trying to do.
Quick way to get the whole city against you.
Yeah, but that happens today with Dave Chappelle. Yeah. You were talking about Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is one of my
He's the goat.
He's the goat.
He is, in my opinion, a god.
The
comedy god.
The black KKK leader. Come on.
Oh yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah.
So good. That was episode 1. Mental.
Wait, I was in love with Dave Chappelle, bro.
Yeah.
Because I was in school at the time, and
same.
I was using it everywhere. His jokes.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's the best.
I stayed up late and watched that episode, right?
Yeah.
And then that was just after. It was sort of just after my parents split, and that sketch broke me. Like it was just after Foxtel came out with the rewind, and I rewound that scene where the guy's head explodes. Neil Brennan, his co-writer, because he reveals his face as being black, and the whole KKK rally just loses it, and Neil Brennan's head explodes. Dude, I cried, fell out of my couch. I'm rolling on the floor.
It was the best, man. It was the best.
So good.
It was so good, man. Even like Rick James and all that stuff.
Everything.
Like, it became household phrases. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in the ethos.
So like, imagine that effect in Sydney, man.
Yeah,
like,
man.
You got the platform for it, and I feel like if there's any comedian out there,
I'm chasing it, man. Like Elliot's joke, it's like probably one of the best jokes I've ever heard in Sydney. The way it works is so brilliant, and obviously I'm not going to say it here, but search up Elliot Ravetti. He's always down at Magic. He's one of my regulars, one of my crew. So he's got this joke, and everyone that has seen it, like that is their joke of the night. Like it is so good, so memorable. People are. It's one of those ones where it's kind of like talking about going down on girls sort of thing. And my mate came to the show, and then 2 weeks later he's talking to me. He's like, dude, I was with my missus, and like things started getting heated. I went down there, and we both just started laughing. They both remembered it. 2 weeks later.
See,
boom.
That's mad. Yeah. That's amazing, man. And that's what I mean. I feel like as we were talking, why I got into that political society thing, because we're talking about governments getting paid too much. They're not with the people. Yeah. And with art, you have to be within society to create your art, sort of thing, whatever. How do you keep in the society to keep your stuff updated, even just to keep within the realm of things?
Oh, how do I stay grounded and stuff?
Yeah, and how do you stay like focused and stuff like that?
Well, man, because I see the vision so far ahead, like, and I'm running for it. You know what I mean? It's like, a downside of that is that I do lose track of what's going on. Yeah. But
procrastination, we're talking about before.
Yeah, man. Like, I distract myself. I try and distract myself by doing something else that helps it. So it's kind of like, see, things like the podcast. It takes a whole, like my podcast takes a while because I have to sit there, talk to myself for an hour, roughly. Like it's weirdest thing ever. So like, so then throughout the week I have to build up things that I want that fire me up, and then rant about them at the end of the week, essentially. And if I forget to start writing that stuff down, like then
you lose the track in it.
Yeah, but I've got a lot of it written down now, like things that have been firing me up recently. So things like that. So I stay grounded by just staying heated about political stuff. It annoys the hell out of me. Things like the other day I couldn't Uber to school, because like we were talking, I'm studying at uni, and the person had their foot on the seatbelt part in the seat behind me, and kept getting tense, and like I left it for a bit, and then I didn't leave it. And I grabbed his foot, and I was like, "Dude, your foot is on my seatbelt." Like after about 3 times of it tugging on me, and someone was going to die that day. And as soon as I got out of the Uber, the Uber driver pulls forward, and this motorbike comes screaming up the street, slams on his brake, just misses, like stops like 2 inches away from the back door. The back wheel goes up on the motorbike, everything. Far. He lifts his helmet. He's like, "You fucking idiot. What are you fucking doing?"
Far up, man.
And I have not smiled that much all week.
Evil.
Yeah, big time. But just knowing that person was tugging on my seatbelt that whole time, whether or not they knew it is irrelevant. But then the fact that they had the fear of their life being gone from a motorbike, because they would have looked like in a movie, they look out the window like, and like that, just knowing that they didn't die, but they were scared they could have. Yeah, and I'm like, yes, that's going to carry me through the whole day. So that's how I stay grounded, by just staying petty. Yeah.
So you just brought up study JMC.
JMC. So they are, they are an awesome college. It's full of just creative people. So it's like a creative college. So musicians, mainly music focused, sort of like AIM, but different. And they have different things like animation and
film and stuff like that.
Film, TV, stuff like that, radio.
Music and stuff like that.
And I'm doing entertainment business management, which, like, you saw the show, and one of my teacher was actually in that show, like in the audience. Yeah, so part of my assessment is to put on an event, which I was already doing anyway, and they come down and check it.
Get out of here, that's beautiful, man. Bro. That's perfect. Mad, yeah.
So she comes down and sees that awesome show. She loved it. I spoke to her on Monday, and she was like, I don't even know why you're in this class. I'm like, it's for the later stuff. So it's a bit, it's hard to, like we were talking before, hard to study when you've...
Yeah, you've got all this stuff happening,
Yeah, especially with all the stuff going on, but then also stuff that I'm learning stuff that I already know. So I'm kind of like I'm putting study to the back burner when I shouldn't.
Yeah.
But it's all stuff I can get done like real easy.
You
like
already know
in
about
my
it.
opinion, yeah. So like I've got to write a 1,000-word essay on, for instance, someone that I think is cool. So I'm doing Dave Chappelle. So that's easy for me.
Yeah, yeah.
I can write 10,000 words on Chappelle.
That's what I was saying, like with the government stuff and that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's go to a break. I'm going to go to a break, play some music, come back, and we're going to talk about Dave Chappelle, the pill testing, and how comedy can shape the society.
Change the world? Cool.
Change the world, yeah. This one's called Basketball Courts, and it's by Homebrew, the New Zealander, little New Zealand rap group. Yeah. I like these guys. I was playing a few of them back then. But they make their own music. They're both friends. His mum was like a politician in New Zealand, or not a politician. She was anti-government, and she used to write against them and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. So it just goes through his music. But this one's called Basketball Courts. It's about one of his friends. No, it's actually just talking about being next to the basketball court back in the day. It's just a real cool little beat. We'll come back. This is Radio Skid Row 88.9. You're listening to Good Smoke. It's Radio Skid Row 88.9 and you're listening to Good Smoke. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? That number, 9550-9552. Also, radioskidrow.org and goodsmoke.com.au. Check out Magic Mike Comedy on Facebook, also Instagram. Also, check out @Chills, CHILLZ. And you can check out all the latest, what's happening with him, and also what he's getting up to in the future.
Indeed.
Got that off my chest.
Yeah. Not as smooth as that other one, but still
it's
smooth.
Happening,
it's still smooth.
Thank God for community radio.
Yeah, you set the bar too high. Yeah, it's still great, but not as good as that other one.
I have to polish it off. Okay, we're talking about comedy. If you just tuned in, Anthony runs a stand-up comedy set down at King's Cross on the strip there and put pots.
Yeah, bro. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m.
I'm telling you guys, like, if you have a girlfriend or you're in the bad books with her and you want to get her back to the good books, take her down to this because you'll make her laugh and it helps out relationships and stuff.
I'll try not let any of my comedians sleep with your girlfriends. Hey, some of them are rowdy.
They get rowdy.
Yeah, right.
But all in all, it's a great vibe down there. There's no
for sure.
Like it doesn't have that stinchy King's Cross stripper feel to it.
It's wild. Hey, like people outside, no teeth, people inside laughing with teeth. It's crazy.
no, but the thing is they've cleaned it up a lot. And
the cross, they're trying to constantly. It works in my favor. I mean, coming from the nightclub industry, it's sort of a lot of my friends lost their livelihoods. They lost everything. But now it's kind of like they have a situation going where they've got new apartments coming up. They've got all this stuff. And from the looks of things, they're going to try and, do more of that, which is whatever. Yeah. It's good, but, we grew up in an era where that was like, the Golden Mile. It was where you went to let loose and be rough and rowdy. Yeah, now we don't have that. Now it's like, literally, it doesn't matter if the light's red or not. People are crossing the road. There's no cars.
Yeah,
there's no one.
There's nothing there. It's a dead town. Yeah,
it's
for sure.
Wild.
And we're talking about that about the lockout laws happening in Sydney and that one still has its lockout laws in King's Cross and Oxford.
Yeah, it's wild. They're going to take them away. They're aiming to take them away, but then they're going to leave them in King's Cross. It's kind of like, yeah, but there's nothing there now. Why would you? That's the last place. Like, there's more violence and stuff going on everywhere, but it's still so stupid.
I think it's I don't know. It's a hard one because down there it was really dirty down there. I remember at a stage where it got really bad, but
it's still dirty down there. Like, but it's not. There's just less people. So now it's like now there's nothing there except the dirt. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
no people amongst it.
Yeah, man. Even when you're walking in, like, because it's kind of right down near the McDonald's. There's homeless people there. There's there's junkies. The shooting galleries down the road. Yeah. Not shooting. Is that what it is? Shooting gallery where they're
giving them meth.
Safe injection.
Yeah, safe injection.
I think
clinics.
It's called clinics. Clinics. Yeah. I think it's called a shooting gallery.
Yeah. Anyway. Something like that.
Yeah, but it's kind of like man, I started #CasinoMike, like that hashtag, and obviously that went viral. But it's kind of like it's all based on corruption. There is you got to kind of go with the grass is greener sort of thing, or look for the best, get the good out of the bad. Yeah. So the lookout laws sure enough destroyed King's Cross, but then, and they also took away the nightclub industry, which means I was out even though I was just an associate of it. I found something else. And when you grow up like we did, it's kind of like you gravitate to, no matter how bad things are, you look for the positive. Yeah. So you kind of always looking for that. And I do look at the positive of it, where it's kind of like if I didn't, I would have still been like heavily addicted to drugs. I would have still gone down that path and probably would have ended up I wouldn't have died. I'm pretty immortal. But I would have ended up ruining my life and other people's around me, my family. Like, you know, I would have put my family through hell. But it's kind of like, you can get out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with it, the benefit of the lockout laws is that it did help me get out of it. But then I said the downside of it is people lost their lives. And there's no work now. Like Sly Fox, for instance, where I work on the weekends. Pros and cons of everything. Sly Fox, I still have to work. Comedy's going great, but it's not paying the bills.
Need money,
yeah. So I work on Friday, Saturday nights, like midnight to 7 a.m. You know, late hours. Work 2 days a week, Friday, Saturday night, and I can afford rent and then focus on comedy. Like a big thing at the moment is the council's trying to restrict their license to a midnight close. Then you're kind of looking at it like, all right, if they close it, my shift starts at midnight. So our main trade is midnight to 6 a.m. Yeah. So then we're going to have to close. Yeah. If they do that, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to have no income for... Like my only income will be comedy, which would be great, but I'll lose rent. So then I've got to sort of somehow make that up. And it's and the councils in this country, in this state, mainly in this state, are just councils and police.
So much red tape, are you thinking, yeah?
Yeah, I honestly believe it's corruption because they want to gentrify everything. More people, more dense areas, more money coming in. You know,
and more hippier people with more money and stuff like that.
Because think about this, like there's like 4 to 6 employees, 2 managers at Sly Fox. Yeah. If they put in apartments or somewhere, office blocks just down the road, like it's only up the road here. Yeah. Then you're talking like, you know, they're going to have 800 people in there. It's a lot more than 6. So it's kind of like, that's how their mind works. They're like, we can milk
800 people.
Yeah, working in the area instead of 6 with one job, or like even 100. Yeah. But
see, that's what we're talking about. Like, it's the balance, man. Like, the thing with it here, this is my thought about it. In Australia, it's like something happens, we thrash it to the max, and then we get it taken off of us.
Yeah, that's a very good example. Yeah.
So for example, the bike situation where the bikes were around, where you can unlock them if you got an app and you can ride those bikes.
Ride shares. Push bikes, ride share. Line bikes and stuff. Yeah. Bro,
they'll put the Aussies will like. In our society, we'll put them in trees, throwing them in rivers.
Yeah.
It's like
menaces, like we were as kids.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So but now it's gone to the consequences of it's. One guy does something bad, we all get affected by it.
Yeah, exactly. 3 kids it's wrong that they died, definitely.
100%, man.
That's so wrong.
And the guy who did it,
Idiots.
Yeah, idiot, man.
But it's 9 p.m. It was all before 10 p.m. Why are you taking away...
Yeah, the later
3 a.m., you know, 1 a.m. onwards.
Yeah.
Like...
And then there's guys that are thrashing drugs to the point where they're dying, so then now it's become a... epidemic.
Now we can't take pills in peace.
But okay. As much as like, I'm not 100% for pills and all that sort of stuff.
It's silly. It's recreational silliness. It's completely,
especially what it is now. Like what's in the stuff and
it's getting crazy.
It's worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's getting worse and worse.
Yeah,
and testing should be involved.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to get into the government testing and stuff like that. Let's talk about your views on testing and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. So you know, I know people that run festivals very well just through all the years, and like there was 6 I think festivals that got put on this high risk thing. One of them was like they've never had an issue in like 8 years of running festivals, so it's kind of like, why are they high risk? That makes no sense at all.
No one died, nothing.
No one, nothing.
Okay.
It's only DEFCON that people have passed away, and like 1 Bushdorf. So it's kind of like these things have been going for 10 years. It's only just 1 in, if you work that out, it's less than 1%, like less than 0. Which is still too many.
It's dumb as it sounds dumb as a statistic.
Yeah, but it's still too many.
One's just one too many. Yeah,
but it's also
poor families and stuff.
Yeah,
like
it's also
that,
nothing realistically in the grand scheme of things compared to the amount of abuse that's just happening in the streets. People are, husbands are beating their wives. All this sort of stuff is happening, and instead of focusing on that, they're strip searching people at train stations. Like, what are we doing here, man? There's like that Indigenous kid, poor, rest in peace, man. He got killed in police custody.
Yeah, that's right.
1 of 400. It's like, what are we doing
sad,
here, man?
Sad.
And the police commissioner is saying that people should fear police. He said that the other day in the news. That's insane, right. Man. We've all grown up fearing police.
Especially if you're a citizen of the country.
Yeah, man. We've all grown up fearing police from where we're from.
Yeah.
And like the type of world we live in, it's kind of like, we already do fear you. What do you mean we should fear you?
That's right. And just being from an ethnic background.
Yeah, man.
And
Tell me
being
about that.
and being in a predominantly white area.
Yeah, we try.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's like you just stick out like a sore thumb. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Regardless. And my parents taught me how to deal with that. And still,
Yeah.
I was
While you're growing up?
Yeah, while I'm growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm brought up in the eastern suburb side, so like near where you live now. You know, so like.
Oh, yeah, like Mascot
Yeah,
Way.
and all that sort of stuff. But before it was like mostly Aussies down there,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, our school was hard and stuff like that. But it wasn't hard to the extent like I couldn't live on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
it's still a very. It has a roll-on effect.
Yeah,
like
no,
the fact that your
that's right.
parents told you that.
Yeah, that's right.
Is insane. That they're like have the part of you growing up was them telling you, be careful of that.
Like just hold yourself properly and how to talk to people, and you know people take it a different way.
And you get pulled over, how to behave.
Yeah,
man.
stuff like that.
I've been thinking about this. This is like a joke that I'll probably work on soon. It's kind of like every one of us growing up, like where we grew up, everyone. There's like 6 million people in Sydney. It feels like everyone's been pulled over once
for
before.
something. Yeah.
Like that's insane. That means 6 million times people have been pulled over. Yeah, like mind blowing.
Yeah. It's become like a nanny state for sure. Because
it's mental.
Yeah, for sure. But and there is a tiny bit of wisdom. I understand what they're trying to do with it.
Yeah.
But I also see the bigger picture of like how you're trying to
why they're trying to do it.
Yeah, why you're trying to control.
Yeah.
Like because it's sad they use the sad stories to benefit for their agendas.
Yeah, to capitalize and corrupt.
Yeah, there are people dying, but now you're going to try to make money off that.
Now you're monopolizing it. Yeah, monetizing it.
Yeah,
it's wild, man. Like, this is a bit rude, but sort of. Thomas Kelly's dad.
Who's Thomas Kelly?
Thomas Kelly, one of the kids that got king hit.
Yeah.
He started a foundation called Take Care, so TK, Thomas Kelly.
Yeah.
There was 1 year, he is already on like 6 figures, or like late 6 figures or mid 6 figures with this, I think, medicine job he's got or something. He took 200 grand from that foundation as like a salary.
Wow.
He literally profited off his kid's death.
Yeah.
And then his, he had a younger son under Thomas. When he got to uni, all the kids obviously bullied the hell out of him because his dad propped him up as the figurehead as to why this shouldn't go down. And then he committed suicide. Yeah, man, which is so sad, man.
Yeah, no, 100%.
He should not have put his son in that position, and he also shouldn't have taken that. He shouldn't have taken money from a foundation that was. There's no need to. Like he's living a very lavish lifestyle
already. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you don't need that 200 grand. What do you? If you've already like.
And that's what we were saying before we started the show, man. Like, it doesn't matter what anyone's got. There's something in humans
that wants more.
That they have greed. Like
always.
They just want everything, even when they got everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's just this unfulfillable like hole, man.
Yeah, but what we chase, for instance, like I've told you, my visions, you know, to help these comedians to give them a place,
platform,
like a home, a platform, and also build this scene and industry up to this level where it's kind of like for the ruffians, for the non-mainstream. I want to build this thing for all these people. For the people, sort of thing.
That's right, man.
And then you see these people like, and with your visions to, blow
Connect
this up,
everyone,
and you don't want to say your dreams out too loud, but it's kind of like, and it's your dream to say, but eventually, throw things that are going to on an even bigger scale to help people.
Yeah.
These people literally, they're getting it to the point publicly that we would love to have our stuff at, but then they're using it maliciously or like
selfishly.
Selfishly.
Yeah. We're talking about that, man, because I was reading the paper 2 days ago, and is it Nick Giannopoulos?
Yeah.
Is that how you say his last name? I'm not sure.
I think so.
I don't really care. Because after what happened,
you'd know more than me.
Yeah, I would. I really don't care about his last name, because what he did and what he's saying is like real terrible.
Yeah.
So he came out with a lawsuit. Apparently, he's got a trademark on the word WOG, W-O-G.
Yeah.
Which, if people don't know, back in the day, it was from England, and they were talking about anyone that worked with the government used to wear a vest, and it said WOG at the back, and it stood for worker of the government. So anyone that done it, you said you're a WOG.
Yeah.
And mostly back in those days, WOGs, ethnic people work in that, so it became anonymous with WOG, right?
Yeah.
Now this guy said he's got a trademark on it, and any comedian in Australia uses that word can, get either fined, sued,
or has to pay him royalties. I assume that's what the angle is going at. I saw the article. I should have read it, but thought it was so ridiculous. I just didn't even delve into it. Like,
mate. Is this another one of those incidents we were just talking about?
Greed?
No, not even greed. I reckon more of like out of touch.
Yeah.
He's not within the people still.
Do I think it's out of touch? Yeah, I think what it is someone. You know what? Realistically, I mean, so bit of context. He's Wog Boy. Like he had a film called Wog Boy.
Wog Boy 1, Wog Boy 2.
Yeah,
and he had that other show that was on the TV back in the day with Acropolis Now or something like that.
Oh.
It was back in the day with Effie and all that.
Oh yeah. And yeah, so it's an interesting angle. You don't want to because I don't know his intent and his reasoning. I can only presume. But I think...
Yeah, we're just going on assumptions here. We're not fully informed, but we're talking...
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So I believe the reason for it would be mainly... He might be on, chasing that... Because his fame obviously goes up and down, but people can't handle the down. So they're clinging, they're clawing. It's kind of like... it's like a sinking ship in a way. Or kind of... The best way to put it, like a blow-up pool. And when you dip on the side and all the water falls out and then you pull it back, that's fame. It's going out and coming in, out and coming in.
A lot of people saying the same thing, man.
Yeah, it's like you're not going to be riding high the whole time.
Yeah.
Like for a moment, none of us knew who Taylor Swift was.
Yeah,
her career dips, it comes up, comes up.
But I think you can stay in the limelight if you're helping.
Yeah, you can stay in the limelight, definitely. But
not the fame.
You can't stay at 100.
Yeah. But you can help others to get up, and you're still in that industry. You're still helping. Yeah.
And you don't have to. People get afraid of the dip. If it's happened to me before.
For sure. Yeah.
But it's like when the show wasn't like dipped for 1 week, I had a mental breakdown. I was like, all right, I think I'm too connected to this show as a being. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I was freaking out. Tickets weren't. I've had 2 bad weeks in the year, right?
That's good.
Real good.
That's awesome.
But when it dipped, I was like,
well,
what's going on? Yeah. And like, I can see how that would especially if you amplify that by, thousands of like just the eyeballs on you, it dips a bit. Yeah. It's actually like, if it dips by 5%, even if it dips by 50%.
But see how you're talking in strategies and numbers? Yeah. That's what a businessman does.
Yeah.
And we naturally become like that.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of keeping conscious of to distribute your wealth, your skill in
you gotta have faith. You just gotta have faith that it's, what you're doing is good and that you can do it, which is what people will always lose. That'll always waver, I think, because everyone doubts themselves, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like you haven't always been so confident in interviewing.
Bro,
like you're incredible at it, man.
No way, man. I've always, even like I doubt myself now.
Yeah.
Like when releasing content on the internet, is like, am I doing it right? Am I doing this? And like, I feel self-conscious because I made the thing, and
and you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah, you know, what
scariest
I mean?
part ever.
And am I doing it right? Am I part of the industry standard? But you know what I've worked out.
Yeah.
And I'll keep on reminding myself is, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
What am I doing it for? Because that's what made me start this whole thing to begin with. And I'm doing it for the people.
Yeah.
So I'm got nothing to do with this. Like,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's all subjective as well. So anyone watching it, it's only basing it off their viewpoint on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the benefit of it is you can only get better.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? Like,
just don't give up on it, eh?
Yeah, always. And if you care enough, you'll figure out how to make it better. So like, like if you go onto Good Smoke's Instagram, like if you look at the first post up until now, like even though it's recent, you can already see like it's already improving so much, and it's like it's because you care.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I honestly I do care, and I love the people that I'm bringing in here because I feel like I'm giving them something to talk about, as in they start to reflect on themselves and like rejuvenate themselves. Yeah,
man, I haven't spoken about that school stuff in a long time.
Wow,
and like you asked me, it just came straight out because of how you ask, and you can like, I'm pretty good judge of character. I can tell you're a good guy, so it kind of just it flowed out of me already.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You are very good at this,
and that's my heart of it. Like, and that's what I feel like with you when you're in the comedy club, you're at the back. You're sitting at the back. You're
always,
and I don't even feel like you want to be at the front half the time.
Never.
You know what I mean? And that's when I knew, like, I was like, okay, this guy is not doing it
for my own,
for your own thing.
Deep down, it is ultimately legacy is what it's for. But it's not for limelight.
Yeah, you're not trying to be on the camera, or you're trying to get, look at me. You
Never,
know?
man. I get up and I introduce the MC, and then at the end he pulled me on because it was the birthday show. Normally, I don't get up there at the end. Yeah. So it's like I never perform at my own show, mainly because I'm not good enough. I book way better people, but it's a thing.
Story of your life, hey?
Yeah, man. Everyone's
creativity.
Better than me.
I'm the same, man.
It's wild, man. Yeah, like. You see that all the time, even with musicians. You see that with comedians, especially. They'll start their own room, they'll get up, But when it gets to a level that's when you create something that's beyond you, you need to recognize your level and your skill set. So like, sure enough, I could maybe host it probably, but I couldn't host it better than someone else could host it.
Okay.
So,
but that's good to have. Like you've got your wits about.
Oh
you.
yeah.
Instead of being this delusion, go, I'm funny, and then you're always going up there and crashing. You're like,
terrible, dude. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Like imagine I'm trying to relate it to a radio show. It's very hard.
Good smoke.
Yeah. Like if you're up here just like if you knew you were doing something that didn't work, but you thought it was the best thing ever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a side of it where you could, if you love it, then it's fine. But
no. The thing is this is like, I even asked some of my friends that listen in and like look at my content and say, like, please tell me, like, is it shit? Is it bad?
They'll never.
And it's hard to get it out of them. It's like, and even if they say, yeah, it's good, I'm like, no, I don't know, man. I don't believe you.
How fast they say it's good, that alarms the shit out of me. Yeah. They're like, that's mad. I'm like,
yeah. But you haven't even.
It's a 3-minute video and you've responded in 1 minute.
Exactly.
How?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can't.
It's when those guys who go into detail and say certain parts out of what you've done.
That's when you know.
And he's like, bro, this guy actually listens.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
That's for all the listeners. If you're going to throw feedback, pinpoint something so we know you actually listen.
That's right, man.
Yeah, man.
And actually listen, but
always listen. Yeah, because even if you're going to throw shade, make sure that you listen first.
I want to ask about being on stage because I've never experienced I've been on stage as an MC, like to MC a wedding and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But I've never.
I would love to see that.
No.
Yeah.
It was just fun because it was my friend.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, I was
it's much easier. Still scary.
Yeah, it's very scary. I was shaking, man. But and you seem to forget everything when you're up there, man. Like names, and it's like my best friend. But But anyway, tell us the psychology behind standing on stage and those moments of when it doesn't hit and people.
The bomb.
The bombs and I felt bad for some of the guys out there because they were like. Some of their jokes didn't landed, and like I got the jokes, but like some of them didn't hit. But if it doesn't land, they know, they feel it. Yeah,
but
for sure.
They usually have enough time to save it.
Yeah, that's right.
Because sometimes like a minute thing can shift the whole thing. So like if the rhythm of their joke, so there's all these different layers, and I'm not the best at stand up, so I feel rude saying it, but I watch enough of it and I book enough of it to know that the different formats and styles.
Well, you have to choose them.
Exactly. So I see
you've got to have that analytic.
So there's an angle where, like, even a tone, or there's this weird thing where the temperature of the room can change things. Yeah. Everything changes everything.
Yeah, that's right.
And sometimes, no matter if your joke hits every single time, there'll be a time where it doesn't. Always. Yeah. Even if it's the best joke in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you might slip up a word, a letter. You might move your arm a different way.
It's timing,
everything comes in, and that's what I love about it. That's the art form of it. Is sort of like being able to fly through that and like catch it and bounce it. And there's some guys that do like mainly crowd work and they can riff off the audience.
Yeah,
like Kyle, the MC, Kyle Legacy. He'll ask a question and boom, he's got 4 minutes of jokes on it.
That, I think she was Estonian or something. That Estonian woman.
Oh yeah,
just gave her hell.
So hot
with all the tattoos on it.
God,
that is good to have that sort of MC to like get the crowd warmed up, sort of thing, and then
always. And he's the best. He's one of the best for sure. He's my favorite.
His name's the LeBron of
the
comedy.
LeBron James of comedy. He's such an idiot.
Yeah,
he used to be called the King.
Yeah,
now he's the LeBron.
Yeah.
But so what you were saying before with the bomb. So when you're early, maybe a year in, it hurts more than anything. Like.
You want to quit,
You reassess your whole life. You're like, yeah, man. You're like, what's my tax phone number? Throw it out. I don't need it anymore. This is over. But like, when the wins are so much worth it, in my opinion, and into anyone good's opinion, there'll be times where you can get a whole audience of 30 to just all laugh at once or something. Like that feeling that you thought of something, you worded it, you crafted it, and you got it to work. That is beautiful. Like that moment of them laughing because of you, I appreciate more than anything.
Yeah, for
Some
sure.
people love the art of writing better. Some people love the art of performing better. Some people love all these different styles.
Yeah.
But no matter what, we all love the laugh. We all love the laugh.
Sure. Yeah.
And
I love when the comedian's laughing, man.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes it's hard to hold it in.
Yeah. You know when he's laughing with the crowd, and then that makes you even laugh more. You know.
Yeah, man. That's a part of the craft that's actually a lot
like a skill
not used often. But it is a skill because if you ride the laugh. Say they get to a 6, you carry them to a 7. That carries them
exactly.
to the 10.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's a little tactic. Yeah.
Well, the thing I'm getting out of it is it's difficult to plan, not to bomb or to hit either way.
Yeah.
You can only write the joke out.
Yeah.
But like you said,
It's
you have
always
to
gonna
be in
fail.
the arena to
Yeah,
actually,
exactly. You have to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
You got to risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah.
So then, you've got to chase that. Like, everyone fails.
That's
Everyone
right.
fails. You just got to accept that. And that is probably the hardest thing, I think, doing stand-up is learning to fail, because your jokes are not always going to work. Even the best comedians in the world have jokes that don't work. Like, or jokes, they're trying a joke, it doesn't work that time. But the best part is when it doesn't work, you can start figuring out how to fix it. When it does work every time, that's perfect. That's a great joke. But then if it works sometimes but then doesn't sometimes, like if you're looking at maybe a 60-40 split, like 60% works, 40% doesn't, your goal is to find that 40%, why that's not working, and adjust that. And then you go, you start crafting it, and then you get it as close to 100 as possible. Close to 100%
I think
laughs.
it's like, it's difficult.
Oh, yeah.
It's difficult, but it seems seamless when they do it. Like,
They make it look easy.
So smooth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially that, I forget his name. What's the guy that was getting a divorce and he was talking about taxes in Australia? He had a curly chair, button-up shirt. It was towards the end.
Towards the end. I'd have to look him up.
Yeah, I have to look him up. But he's what I liked about his set, like he was so relatable.
Yeah.
So relatable. He was talking about taxes, how everything's safety now, like OH&S.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he's like, he has to sign a paper form for everything. And, I forget his name, but I forget.
Yeah, it's ringing a bell.
But
Man,
like, those type of comedians for me.
more relatable.
Yeah, more relatable, more everyday, like husband jokes and stuff like that, mother jokes, stuff like that.
I think you're talking about Billy Darcy.
Do you have a picture? Oh, no, you don't. Okay,
No,
it probably
I
is.
will. But like blonde hair to here, real Aussie kind of guy.
No. With the tracksuit.
Yeah.
No, not him. He was like,
High energy, fast talking.
yeah, sort of, and he had a
Andrew.
real, hey, yo, mate, like a real Aussie voice.
Oh, that would probably be Andrew Wolf.
Andrew Wolf, and he has a picture like that on your.
Yes, that's Andrew Wolf.
Yeah, Andrew Wolf.
So he's one of the best in the biz,
Mate,
man.
come on.
Yeah, next
That
level.
guy,
eh?
he's just nailed
Next
it.
level.
Everything he said.
Yeah, on fire. And
On
you know
fire,
what? I saw him on Monday, not Wednesday. So I saw him the Monday before.
Oh, before I came.
Yeah, at a different show at Comedy Lounge in Surrey Hills every Monday. Very good show.
Is that you as well?
No, man, it's just a show I really love.
Oh, okay.
I go down there to watch and to book from there.
Oh, nice.
So that's run by Reese, but Cafe Lounge, that's like the best Monday show in my opinion. And he was down there. He's from Adelaide or Perth, but Perth. He crushes like Perth's just a crush fest.
Oh, really?
And that style didn't work on Monday, but then destroyed on Wednesday. You know what I mean? He killed it.
Yeah, man.
So it was weird. And he's like, dude, hopefully it works at your room. I'm like, it'll work.
It will
That
work,
style
man.
works in my
It
room.
works, man.
Yeah, man. So I've got a little surprise drop for you there. Thursday, 6 a.m. There's a podcast I produce called The Mug Off.
I've seen that.
Yeah, very funny.
Yeah,
it's like we're growing at like 40% every month.
You produce it?
Yeah, man. I edited. I made the intro. The boys run it. So Cameron Duggan, Gerard McGowan, and Yaz, who used to work at the Comedy Store.
Off the Mug, it's called.
Mug Off.
Oh, Mug Off. Okay.
Yeah,
check
Mug
that
Off.
up, guys. Mug Off.
Spotify, iTunes, mugoff.com.au.
Yeah.
Subscribe. It's his episode. So we recorded with him. His episode comes out Thursday, 6 a.m. Like I can't even edit it properly. Like it is that funny, dude. Like everyone's losing it. We're still going on about it. It's mental, man.
How long has he been around?
He's been running it, I think.
No, I mean, how long is what's that?
The Mug Off?
No, the Wolf.
Andrew Wolf.
Andrew Wolf.
Yeah, Wolfie's been running. Must be over 10. Coming up on 10.
There you go, man.
Yeah, a long time.
And we're talking about seasoned veterans, how they start to beam at the end of like 15, 10 years.
Yeah, it
there.
takes a long time.
And so he's up to that.
Yeah,
he's
man.
gonna. I see him up
He's gonna
there.
pop?
Bro,
He's
I'm
already
telling
killer.
you, he's a killer, man.
Yeah.
His face, his facial expressions when he does stuff.
Yeah.
He's just awesome, dude.
Yeah,
man.
mental.
I'm telling you, my friend Anna, like she was laughing. He goes, "I love that type of comedy." You know?
Yeah.
You know, and there was another guy with orange curly hair. He had a polo top on. He said he just dropped acid before getting on.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but
Dan Rath. Yeah.
oh, bro, come on. Are they
So
brothers?
funny.
Are they brothers?
No.
Because they're all good, man.
Yeah, they're very.
And the thing is, on stage, he was one guy.
Yeah.
But then I shook his hand after. I go, mate, you had a really good set. He's like, oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I thought he really did pop acid that night because he was the way he was standing.
Yeah.
Just the demonstration of it was awesome.
He must have some, like, he must be on the spectrum, I think, without admitting it. I think he might be, but he is beautiful, dude.
Yeah, he is.
Such a great guy. Hilarious comedian. That doesn't work every time, though.
Yeah,
his style can be very decisive. Like, some crowds don't want to laugh because it's so wild and so free and flying.
I loved him.
I heard him end a set once with, I think you guys have been a great audience. I think you should all uppercut yourself. I was like, dude, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Like,
that's what I mean. It's so random, but it's not malicious. It's like, it's cheeky.
Yeah, it's just all fun.
Yeah.
And you can tell he looks lost up there, but he's not.
He's not, bro.
He's not at
He's
all.
on the ball the whole time. Like, that's the thing with him, man. And I was really surprised, like, is he going to lose it? I'm thinking he's going to drop it. Is he going to do it?
No.
But
when
he knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
bro.
when he catches it, he's rolling with it, man. He can grab him and just mold him to whatever he wants.
For sure.
It's just that grabbing him part that is tough.
It's tough
because he's so good that they're not used to it. There's like, it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, but once he gets it,
I'm going to play one more song, then we're going to wrap up the show. I'm just going to play Alcoholic by Homebrew. This is Radio Skid Row. You're listening to Good Smoke. It's Radio Skid Row 88.9. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Got a bit of a static here.
Is it me?
Oh, you know what? Maybe let's work this out. Hold on. Let me turn these off, this off, this off. I don't know. What's that noise? Who knows? Who knows? Hopefully it's not on the recording. Hopefully not. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Radio Skid Row 88.9. You're listening to Good Smoke. Remember that number 9550-9552, radioskidrow.org and goodsmoke.com.au. We're going to sign this one off. Lucky this happened at the end of the show, so the sound doesn't stuff up.
Yeah, no, it's all good, bro.
But we still can hear each other.
Yeah, we're all right.
I'm
sure we'll figure it out once we go off.
Let's do a last shout out and events coming up. What can we look for?
Yes, so December 6th, I've got Anthony Locascio, Mr. Perfect at the Comedy Store. You can find that on the Comedy Store's page, my page. You know, I'm going to be sharing the hell out of that coming up, leading up to it.
I'll link it to my page for you.
Yeah, perfect, man. Yeah. And then on December 18th is our last show of the year. We got it's a charity show for the firefighters. So we'll be putting all the profits of that straight to them, helping rebuild things and helping the wildlife side of it and all that, like whatever we can get.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you get a show and then it goes to them. Yeah, you know what I mean. So all the acts are. We've got Cameron James, Sam Taunton. I've got a few other ones, like just making sure the schedule's right. Yeah. It's gonna be massive. Yeah. I've offered to pay them, and they're all just like, keep the money, put it to the charity. So
that's mad, bro.
Done, man. Yeah.
That's mad. Yeah, and there's a lot of guys out there stepping out and taking initiative to donate to the fires and stuff like that.
Man, it's killing us.
So I really appreciate that, man. Last minute shout outs to anybody that you want to do. Shout out to the camera.
Yeah, no, shout out to Big Smoke, man. Thank you for having me on.
Good Smoke.
Good Smoke. Oh.
Because I told him the history, so you got to convince that.
Man, I'm a man of history. Good Smoke.
Good save,
look, this is Good Smoke, but he's big, so. Thank you for having me on, man. Just ID comedy, whatever. We're making cool stuff. Like, you'll be seeing more.
Yeah,
I'll drop down. I'll bring some comics down. We'll have heaps of fun, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm going to see you more in the future as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Check out Magic Mike Comedy on Facebook and Instagram. Check out Chills, CHILLZ.
With a Y at the end on Instagram. Chillsy on Instagram.
Chillsy, sorry. CHILLYZ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Chills Y. So Chillsy. Just Chillsy.
Okay, Chillsy. Yeah. Okay. Check that out.
If you come to Magic Mike and say Skid Row at the bar, to me, I'll shout you one drink.
You sure about that?
I'm sure. As long as they say Skid Row or Good Smoke, I'll get him a drink.
Well, you heard it here first, man. And I try not to tell him to do anything for us, but look,
I'll look after you.
You know what I mean? These are the friends and networks we're building. So, guys, go check out comedy. Really support this guy. He's really doing something good for the community out there. And with us together, we can build something better, and we can beat all these government laws and red tape and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Just keep it cool.
Exactly. This is Radio Skid Row 88.9. You've been listening to Good Smoke.